Savannah.
Hello, Taryn.
Welcome to another fine Thursday of Ops Experts Club, your operations experts clubbing around. How are you today?
Clubbing it. I am great. I got both my kids in childcare right now, so I'm having just a quiet house. It's lovely. So I'm gonna get some stuff done today. How about you?
Nice. I'm doing well too. Yeah. Um, just hanging out at home. We have some sunshine here, which is nice. So we'll warm up, go outside, warm up my bones a little bit.
We got so much snow. So I took out our Christmas tree, and we already had a lot of snow because it's Wyoming, but I plunked out our Christmas tree just in the front yard because I was like, whatever, the ice will preserve it and it'll be cute and we'll have a little tree in the yard. It snowed so much after that that you can only see like this much of the top of our tree.
Whoa.
It's just a little baby guy out there now.
That is a lot of snow.
It's a lot of snow. But I get to go skiing tonight.
That's cool. At night, you doing a cross country skiing?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep,
That's
it's almost a full moon. We wanted to go tomorrow because it's the actual full moon tomorrow, but the schedule doesn't work. So
that's
any
fine.
hoozle.
Nobody needs to know. Well, welcome, Ops Experts, folks. Last week we had a cool rendition of That's a Cool Tool, had a lot of great recommendations, but we do want to warn you that sometimes you need to do your own research, as I just read the article about the LastPass data breach. So sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. That's all I can say.
Which is true for any tech that you're gonna use. Like there's gonna be something, and we all have to pivot. So
Mhm.
Colab team is not liable for any tech decision that you make as a result of an ops expert's cool tool session.
That's for sure. Awesome. Well, Savannah, it's just you and I here today. Why don't you tell me about something you've been working on, something fun you've been working on that you've been looking forward to?
I've kind of been laying low since Christmas, but I really enjoy organizing things in Asana. So right now, something fun that I'm working on is we help host like the virtual side of things for a client for their conference that they do twice a year. And it's kind of a big undertaking that was always with Aaron before, and then it recently went to me. And just as I ran it last time, I realized there's just like a lot of little pieces that can kind of fall through the cracks that then you don't realize you missed out on until it's time and you're trying to find this information. So I took a whole bunch of notes during it and then put that into a Google Sheet, just kind of arranging like what information I need when, who I need to contact when. So now I'm taking that spreadsheet and I'm putting it into Asana with actual due dates. So it can be like, okay, if the conference is at this time, then we need to make sure that we have this, this, and this by this time. We need to have looms on how to train people on how to use this software. So it's kind of, I like doing that kind of stuff. So that way, I can keep myself better on track. Or if I end up needing to hand it to someone else later, then I can just be like, here is this giant Asana project, and
Mhm.
it'll walk you through like week by week what you need to do for each week. So yeah.
Like that. Now, as somebody who's used Monday and Asana, I was in a meeting earlier where some guy uh, is just discussing the philosophy of Monday versus Asana. Like he's a huge Asana fan and is kind of struggling with the switch as he's joined this new company of using
Okay.
Monday, going from Asana to Monday. You've used both, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I use Monday pretty daily for one of our clients. Um, and I like it. It's just it's really busy. Like Monday, there's a lot of cool things that I feel like you can do with Monday, like automations and things. You can have it like set off notifications based on like triggers when you mark something done. It kind of can like you can set off a sequence so it'll kick off another project and like notify people and stuff. And I think that's really cool. So I think it's probably I think Monday is better when you're dealing with a lot of people on a project and there's a lot of moving parts and you need to hold everybody accountable. Not that Asana you can't do that. But like I love Asana best for my own personal projects that I'm working on. It works best to hold myself accountable. I like that I have the phone app with the widget and everything. So things like talk to each other really easily. Monday, I hate working on Monday from my phone because it is so busy. It's hard to navigate to all the little pieces. While Asana is a lot more like click and drag. It's really straightforward.
Hmm. Yeah, Mondays can seem a little bit too robust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot.
So I think Asana is doing one thing well. They've got just the task management, project management feature, really solid, a lot of good reports, a lot of good different ways you can put a task in different areas. You can reoccur a task however much you want. A lot of cool tools with that. Monday is like a bigger picture, like what can we do? What's possible out there? Let's do it all. And it even shows just when you're signing up for Monday, you're actually getting your own database. That's why all your Monday accounts have the subdomain at the beginning of like the client name .monday.com. They're actually building out a database just for your company because that's how big the features of Monday are.
It can do so much. Like the more that I learn about Mondays, like I really want to deep dive into Monday and like know more about it because I know that it can do even more than I've even played with. But yeah, like I just made last week, I made a basically a Google form in Monday that is like I created like a quiz, like for when someone gets onboarded into a company, they go through a little quiz to make sure that they fully understand like all of the onboarding pieces and have to like submit like little homework from it. And I could do that like in Monday, like it's a Monday form. They're in their board, they go through their onboarding steps, and then they just take a tab within their same page, and there's their little quiz to like make sure they're onboarded. So yeah, it can do so much. But yeah, from a personal standpoint on just like getting stuff done, I feel like Monday's like, if you're just using it for yourself, it's like when you start the new year and you get really excited and you buy the crazy planner that has all the tabs and you buy all the highlighters and you're like, I am going to color code every single thing that I have to do for the week. And so I know what it is. And then you get like 2 weeks into it and you're like, I am overwhelmed. I don't remember who's blue. I'm just not going to do it. While Asana is like, just do the lowest step of what you have to do to make sure that you get it done.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yep. Keeping it simple better, just doing one thing well. I like it too. Yeah.
How about you? What's your fun project you're working on?
Well, we've been working on building out a scorecard for a new client we've been working with for a little over a month now. Kingdom REI, Ellis Hammond. And it's really fun. I think you tend to notice a lot of insecurities once you start asking numbers for people, especially if they don't know how to get them yet. You're still a young company, things live in people's head. It's not necessarily a process somebody can go in and do. So just the feature of building out somebody's scorecard leads to so many things you can do from there. It's like, these are all the numbers we want to have. Now let's work on how we can get them. Oh, wait, that number isn't really easy to get. Let's build out a process so that's easy to get. And the process we build out is going to actually make it better for the customer in the long run. It's going to make it better for us and our processes. Oh, and we can tie automations to it now. That's even better. So, and just like trying to get this one number, you've completely transformed your business.
And what tools are you using to try and get all those numbers together?
Well, this one's through their sales pipeline. So
okay.
When you go from the old school method of just like the owner is doing all the sales calls, he knows who's in, who's out, who's won, how many referrals there are, how many applications there are. That's all in his head. So it's like, okay, the next level of that, how can we scale that? Is how can we report on it? And then realizing we can't report on it, we have to ask him every time. And then from there, we're now creating processes of a sales pipeline that anybody can then jump into and start doing sales.
So, love that. So in just trying to get a number, you end up like growing their business in a whole different way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's my favorite part about scorecard is you're not trying to think of what can I grab now. You're trying to think of what would be a great number to have in the future. And then how can we build to that point? I love scorecard. It's my favorite time of the L10 meetings.
Because you're a data guy. That makes sense.
Yeah. And it's in spreadsheets, data, all that fun stuff.
Have you ever made a scorecard for yourself?
No, I haven't.
I was just thinking like for like a budget, I'm like, That's a fun idea. It's making a scorecard.
Yeah. There's a lot of budget apps out there that are pretty cool.
They kind of like budget app. Speaking of the last past security breach, they kind of make me nervous because all of them, like they want access to your card information and your bank information. And so it's like one of those things where like, I don't want to pay money to figure out how I can save money. But then at the same time, I don't want to give my bank information to a free app because why is it free? If they're asking for all that information, what are you doing with it? So
data mining, selling your info.
The internal struggle. So,
and the automated reporting can be a little funky. It's like you go to Fred Meyer, you could have bought groceries, you could have bought car parts, you could have bought clothes. They don't know. Yeah. So just because you went to Fred Meyer and it's classified as grocery store, you could have bought pants. And $50 pants is different than $50 in groceries.
Yep.
So then you
we use Mint, and that's like the categorization. And then even actually so fun, self-employed tax time type of thing. So we use, I have QuickBooks for small business, and I had set up a rule because, childcare is tax deductible. And so we keep track of that. And I set up a rule and everything was feeling all slick that it recognized like my childcare check that came out every week. And then, this is going to get way too personal. I'm not going to go into this. Anyway, it's a lot to try and categorize. We had to switch the way that we had to pay for it. So now I'm having to dig through like 4 months worth of my QuickBooks to pull out all of my childcare expenses. That could be childcare, could be tithing, could be garbage payment. It's very
anything with a check.
You just got to keep on top of it, and it's it's a whole thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to scorecard my life though. That'll be a fun goal.
Yeah, I'm like for tax time next year, if I scorecard my life now, I think tax time next year will be a whole different game.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, Savannah, you and I both know that as we're doing projects, they don't always work out as we like them to. What's a hard one you've been dealing with that didn't quite work out?
One that's really frustrating me right now that is actually like fresh because I just kind of like tied the sad bow on it yesterday is I don't know API, and I really want to learn API. Like that's something that I want to like try and like start training on this year. And we have our client Manifest U really wants to connect their YouTube with their Zendesk because they have their team on Zendesk. Zendesk is a kind of expensive app to have your team on. And so they want to get the most out of it. And they want to be able to have one of their team members who is answering customer inquiries. She answers all their stuff on YouTube. And so they want to be able to integrate YouTube with Zendesk so that all of their YouTube comments come into Zendesk as a ticket. There are third-party apps that do this. Zendesk hasn't rolled out their own native app, which is very frustrating. So there's like 3 different third-party apps that you can use to integrate that you have to pay for that'll bring in the comments as tickets, and you can reply to the comments. But a key functionality that they need, they don't need to just reply to comments. They need to be able to like comments. They need to be able to delete comments that are spam or are negative. They need to be able to see if those people who are commenting are subscribers. And so I keep contacting all of these third-party apps, hoping that one of them has it figured out. And then finally, one of them gave me a more in-depth answer, because all of them, they're just like, that's great. We'll submit it to the team as an idea, which means that they're never going to do anything about it. And that's like Zendesk, like 2 years ago said like, that's a great idea. We'll submit it to the team. And then they haven't done anything since. And so one of the third parties that responded to me yesterday was finally like, Zendesk doesn't let us have access to their API in such a way that we can create an app to do that. They're like, it's cool. Like we know how we would do it, but we can't go deep enough into Zendesk to do that from like within that. And so, and maybe if I knew API, like what they said, like, it might not be that like, I just might not be able to do something like that, but I feel like I could figure something out, a workaround. And even Zapier, I was like, I got their Zapier logins because they have Zapier. And I was like, you guys are already paying for this. Like, let's not pay for a third party app. Let's just do it. Zapier doesn't even work with Zendesk comments or YouTube comments. Which is this, I don't know what the purpose of this is. They can create a ticket if a new video is created. And I'm like, they already know if a video is created. They created the video. They don't need a ticket to come in to tell them. Their customer service team doesn't need to know. I guess so they could go and monitor it or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm very frustrated because I can't give the customer what they want and what they need. So right now the answer is just that their person has to keep hanging out on YouTube and answering things directly, and I don't like it. So
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder in that situation, I would ask how invested are they in Zendesk right now? And is there another app that can do it? Like kind of like the import if this feature is most important to them based on how committed they are to Zendesk, is there a possibility of switching?
that's a good question. Because I feel like we are early enough into our Zendesk journey that I feel like it would just be, switching, do a redirect of where the email goes,
Mm-hmm.
and they could switch to something else. So that's worth looking into for sure. I'm going to do some more investigating today because I hate getting the word no. Like I hate
Mm-hmm.
when it's at a stop at no. And I'm like, it can't be no. Like there's always a way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how about you? What's something that's frustrating you right now?
Well, back to Monday. I took on a project building out some new what do they call them? Dashboard? No, boards, building out some boards in Monday to track data for all these events that happen. And I was like, oh, this is great. I got it all pictured in my mind. Like what we're going to do, it's going to look like this. The dashboard's going to do this. You can filter by this. It's going to be super cool. And so now I'm in the dashboard phase of just trying to build out the dashboards and how they look, which is I forgot about this until now. It's my least favorite part about like Excel spreadsheets when I do reporting for people is building out the little visual widgets because I'm not the visual person, I'm the data person. And so I get really frustrated with them really quickly. I'm like, I just want this word to show up down here and I want all these numbers to look like this. And every time I do it, it's like backwards, it's not saying the right thing, it's upside down. And I'm like, come on, this can't be this difficult. So I'm still just plugging away at these dashboards and trying to get them to look how I envision it in my mind.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
I'm
I
not good
feel
enough
like
either.
I know there's people that are like really well trained on it. And once they get the muscle memory of it, they can do things fast. But yeah, I feel like learning how to do things in Monday takes a lot of time to to
Mhm.
figure out because even like the form thing, I thought that I it was more difficult than I felt that it should be. And then once I got it, it was like, oh, there it is. It just like isn't super intuitive when you're learning it first time.
Mhm. Yeah. I got like a small click happen, small win, and I was like, I'm close. And the hard part is I'm trying to get a report of like 4 different boards and like info from different boards to line up on one visual report. So, which I know is possible. It's just next level.
Yeah. So you're like almost kind of trying to pull like Excel formulas, but whatever the Monday equivalent is of that,
Yeah.
plug it
Yeah.
in.
Yep.
Fun.
That's what today is dedicated to, finishing that up by my timeline of tomorrow. Yeah. So I think a last question here is, do you have any good stories recently? Best story, something you learned or something fun you experienced in work recently?
Um, well, I think something that's been really great is that I have kind of dialed things back in the last couple of weeks. And because I was just traveling just at just too much brain space, too much. And just since taking a step back, like I'm not technically working less hours, but I am working less mental bandwidth, if that makes sense. And so I think that just taking a step back and like actually like asking the team to fill in more for me, it's just opened up my brain some more, and it's allowed me to investigate things more efficiently. Like when your brain's too clouded by all the things that you need to get done, it just you're just not working as efficiently. Like you're just not finding the answer because there's just too much noise. And so I think I just like I wasn't as efficient with my job. And I feel like just taking a step back, like I think I had talking EOS, I had like 3 or 4 rocks for different clients that I was like, I let everyone know, I was like, you can maybe expect this like mid Q1 2023. Like I am not going to get it done. So like, don't like, I'm MIA for a little bit. I'm going to get this to you guys like soon-ish, but it's probably going to be like a month or so. And Justin's taking a step back. I've gotten 2 of them done and then another one like close to done. Just by freeing up that brain space, I've just been able to work that much more efficiently and get it done. So I guess it's not really a story, except for just like, I guess like the beginning is I was overwhelmed. And then the climax is I got so overwhelmed that I had to take a step back. And then the resolution is everyone lived happily ever after and like helped me out and things are going much better. So.
Oh yeah. Classic story structure. You got it. That was riveting. I think a good story for me, been implementing a lot of L10s. As we implement them in a leadership team, we then try to implement them in departments, as you've experienced too. And it's fun to see how well it takes on with people and like to see how excited some people get once it's being implemented. And they're like, I had no idea. Like, this is what you guys have been doing. This is how good our meetings can be. Like, these are so productive. I love getting together. It's fun to hear from each other. It's fun to hear a personal story. It's nice to have a spot for our issues. So it's been really rewarding just to hear it from like non-leadership team members of how much they've been enjoying these L10 meetings getting set up in their departments. And I think it also helps set up the leader too, because they're going to start taking it on in their departments. Mm-hmm. They're now the leader of these L10 meetings. And so kind of it really reframes people's mind, especially if you start doing org charts and departmental organization of the top-down flow of who's under who. And then just the structure. People love the structure. And I've seen it every time. People might not say they like it, or people don't know they like it, but every time it's implemented, people love it.
Yeah. Once you get to IDS and you get through like 2 weeks worth of things, it's been like stressing a person out, and you guys come to a solution before the end of the meeting. And it's like, oh my gosh, we took care of so much. It's something else I also love about like that kind of like light bulb moment with everybody is I feel like when it gets rolled out to smaller teams, it's not leadership. A lot of people that are like doing the end over end daily stuff sometimes don't feel like they're very heard in their company because they're not, because like they just don't have an opportunity to really speak up on things. They're just kind of doing their job and moving on. And so I feel like L10 gives like everybody that chance to kind of like speak to like what they're having a problem with in the issue section. And they get that chance to like talk to their team lead every single week. So they know that they're going to be having that, like that interaction, and know that they're important in the company. So I love that too, just for like overall company cohesion. I feel like it makes everyone actually feel like they're like working toward the end goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think with the online based companies, people can really start to feel like they're in a silo if they don't get a chance to get together, see other people, see their boss, be in a group setting. You kind of just feel like you're working all alone. And so it does help reframe people to be like, oh yeah, I am part of a group. I am part of a team that's part of a company that's got other teams, that's got a leader, instead of just getting requests in Slack and email and responding to people with little pictures.
Little emojis and GIFs. GIFs help.
Like, is that picture recent? Was it 5 years old? I don't know.
Yeah, that was I realized my Slack picture was when Thea was still an infant. Like she was like 6 months old, and I was like, oh, I have to update all that because she's 3 and I have another one now. So
yeah. I did a round of that like last year. Yeah.
Because then we got that was when we got your wedding picture, right?
Yeah. I was like, that's a good headshot. I need a headshot.
It is a good headshot.
Let's refresh all of my 8 Google accounts, 5 Slack accounts.
Because was it all your skiing one before?
No, it was just me in Iceland when I went there with my dad. It was just a picture of me in Iceland.
Okay. Oh, with the beanie. I remember.
Yeah. But I grew up, so I'm like, I need a suit and tie picture. That's what I need.
Don't wear beanies anymore.
No way. All right, couple minutes left, Savannah. My last question for you is, what's a project in your pipeline you're looking forward to?
Oh, Goodness. Well, I guess, I mean, it's something that's kind of already in the works, but I am excited for the upcoming conference with 828 Media so that I can implement what I'm setting up in Asana so I can see how different this conference experience is compared to the last one with all of these little things in place.
Right. Because this is like round 2 for you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So, so I feel like I'm, like I'm more wise and everything, but there's definitely some things that I feel like I could have done better. And so I feel like this next round's going to be cool when I get my little Asana reminder and I'm like, oh yes, I need to email these 3 people right now and ask these questions so I can have it by next week. And yeah,
Nice.
so I'm excited for that.
Did they already reach out to you about the conference?
They haven't. Well,
Or you just know.
Yeah. They sort of, because they did like right when they set up the date, they kind of let me know. And then I think that they've been, because they have a huge challenge that just started. So I think that they're just kind of underwater working on that right now. So so I'm just making sure I'm a busy bee in the background. So I'm ready to go when they're ready to go. Because they move fast, as we know. So once they're ready to jump in, they're gonna be jumped in. So
Nice.
how about you?
That'll be quick. I'm looking forward to send off a proposal for some little mini projects. The client happens to use Infusionsoft and uses all these tools I have a lot of experience in. So everything they wanted to do, I was like, awesome, I can do all these things for you. Not only that, but I've been working with other teammates in the collab team who can do those things for you. So I don't have to do all those things for you. I can lead other people doing all those things for you. So it's just fun when you get that one request where they happen to use everything an expert in and all these things I've set up for people recently. And it's just like your perfect fit of like, yes, all around. Like, this is a home run. This is the best fastball come my way. It's just going to feel good to do. They're going to love it. I'm going to love it. What can go wrong?
I do. Well, I mean, Infusionsoft could break, I guess, but we're going to count on that's not going to happen. That's just a freak thing. Yeah. It's not like, I feel like most of our job ends up being figuring out how to get things done for people. So it's really nice when we just get to use what we've, implement what we've learned.
Yeah.
Make it work for them.
I love it when the question they ask just got answered from somebody else. So like, yes.
Got it.
Yeah. Well, Savannah, thanks for joining me today. It was fun to chat about work and projects and give people a sense of what we're doing with our time these days, more than outside of these 30 minutes each week.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to get together. Next week, we have a surprise guest for everybody. We're back on track with our Q&A with guests, other awesome experts at operations or operational areas, whatever that may be, HR, accounting, sales, marketing, we like to talk to different people. So join us again next week. We'll have somebody on here with us asking them questions and it'll be a good time again.
Yay. It was a good time today too.
Oh yeah. Always a good time.
Awesome.
Well, see you later.